Okay, hello. I'm back. Happy New Year. Maybe some of you saw this morning I did a little drawing. I'm going to start trying to do that in the mornings, and still keep this going. The puppet stuff at 5. So I've gotten a few more commissions since I saw you last. I'm finishing up a very long process that I have been working on for, God, probably 8 months this week. But in addition to that, Olaf is back. This is the Olaf I built as the head for um, a local production. It was just the one that is it Elsa, Anna? I can't remember which character it was. Has to talk to on stage, and it's the same size as the one I built before. I just never built the body below it. However, in the meantime, I got a client who wants a puppet version of him, and since when I rebuild this, I want to make him a little bit bigger. After having now mounted having a show with it, I'm going to repurpose this one as the puppet version. So today I'm going to take out the back hole and put in a bottom one and add a neck tube. So at least that's the plan. He does have the nose that pops off, and other than that, he's a fully functional puppet. So should be fun. Let me see what my scope looks like here. Uh-oh. Oh, this always happens. All right. I'm going to switch this camera and get this set up. I got to figure out a better way of dealing with this upper camera, because I can't really adjust it without causing all these problems. Okay, there's that. There's that. Oops. Almost got it. Okay. So there's Olaf's head. Okay. Hey, TC. Have we gone back in time? Almost. What I'm going to do is I'm going to repurpose this one as a puppet. So it's just going to be a slight modification, and then I'm going to add the body. But I'm so tired of Frozen at this point. But a job's a job. And I don't really feel like building a whole other Olaf. So I saw another Olaf so the local production here did a production of Frozen that I did the Sven for, and the reindeer, and then but I got that back, and then they rented a Olaf, but the Olaf's head didn't come off, and they needed a head, so I built this head. And when it was next to the one that they rented, I realized that mine was a little small. It looked like Olaf's head came off and shrunk by about 50%. So anyway, I think if I ever decide to make another Olaf, I'm going to make him a little bit bigger. Probably about 125, 150% bigger. So that left me with the head that I can sell off if I just put a body on it. So that's what I'm going to do. Because they want to operate it like a traditional puppet, which, guy, would be awesome. What a good idea. And then I'll get back to Gonzo probably in mid-February. Although I'm amazed I got that eye mechanism working reliably. So I think I'm on to something there. It may not be exactly the way Henson does it, but it's good enough. Okay. Ah, the fluff. All right, so that's tight for my hand to do it, which is always a bad sign. But at least the mouth still works. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to widen this hole. I'm going to make it just a little bit bigger. And then I'm going to close up the back hole here and then close up the back of the head. That should be most of what I do today. I'm going to try and do this in such a way so I don't cut myself. Good. I should actually. Thought that was going to be big enough that I could mark it, but. Now I'm going to taper this. You know what I got for Christmas? Maybe I can use it. So my parents gave me a one of these cordless Dremels. I've had a corded one forever, but it's always been so cumbersome. I've never been able to do this. So let me see if I can do this. I don't know if I need it, but I'm going to put on a mask as well. Ooh. Well, that was unexpected. So you got to be careful of the fabric, apparently, when you do this. I think what I'm going to do, I'm learning as I go, by the way. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut away some of this foam, and then I'm going to smooth it out using the Dremel or the rotary tool. Try and keep my fingers out of the way. And the reason I do the bevel is so that, number one, it'll make the opening just a little bit bigger, but it also makes it a little easier to attach the arm rod, or the arm sleeve. And the reason I can do this is because it's L200 and it's a little bit denser than trying to use regular foam with this, but tell you what. Okay, that actually worked pretty well. I think I'm done with that part, which is nice. This is nice. I gotta say, this is shaping up to be a pretty good gift. I've used it twice now. And performed great both times. Okay. You could be the first Dr. Dennis puppet guy. Haha, yeah. You needed to stop and say rinse every once in a while, and you have it. That's true. All right, so he's got a neck hole now, which is nice. All right, so the other thing I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to fill this in, this foam part in. I'm going to use I'm going to use a piece of Scotch or dry fast foam here, I think. It's almost big enough. Not quite, though. But you can see how much this is discolored in just the little bit of time that it's been out. Okay. Working on a new puppet myself. His name is going to be Big Boris. He's furry white monster. Oh, fantastic! Is this a design you're working on from scratch, or is it a replica? Ian or Ethan, sorry. I wish I could work on a new puppet. I swear these frozen puppets are going to be the death of me. Okay. Oh, that's cool. I guess I could have used that little piece. Oh well. Live hand puppets are interesting. I am not the biggest fan of them, but what do I know? I like being able to not have to rely on another puppeteer to help me. I just wanted to true this up before I committed to it. So. That should work. Because I'm kind of modifying something I've already built, I have to kind of do this a little bit by the seat of my pants, I guess. It's a lot of problem solving. But I do have some patterns. Like I have the patterns for the full size Olaf, and I'm just gonna shrink them down a little bit, I think, for the body. I ordered some dry fast foam from Amazon today because I don't think I can drive up to Burbank, and the price seems comparable. So we'll have to see how it compares to the stuff I buy locally. Here, I'm gonna open the window. I've heard 33, but I think people get a little too hung up on that. I've seen it both 55 used and 25 used, but it's not like it's magical or anything. You just want to make sure it's something that has few enough holes to keep it shaped and still be lighter and flexible. So, but I do know people do get really stuck on that number. I think they're making less and less of the custom PPIs anymore. Most places just deal in 25 now. This right here, I believe, is 25 or maybe 33. I've heard both. And most of the places I call don't know the difference anyway, so. I would think it would be more important to get it for
for actual what it's intended for, which is filter use. Like you'd want to make sure that if you want it to filter out so much that you're getting the right PPI. Right. And what else cup of cheers now? Huh? Trying to do that in such a way so I didn't get a bunch of glue all over this finished surface.
I'll shut that window as soon as the air clears out here. Okay, well, the good news is he still works. Now he's got an opening in the bottom here, which is nice. I have to fill in this little area in the back. Shouldn't be too difficult. I'm going to shut that window too. Just a second. What was I doing? Okay. All right. So that's going to patch that side of it. Of course, now I got to figure out what the size of that space is. Okay, this is how I'm going to do that. So this is that, is it stick and seal, wrap and seal? What's it called? It's called Glad Press and Seal. which is like a really thick saran wrap. And I got it because Adam Savage had a video where they were using it, and seemed to work really well. When I thought I was going to have to actually make a whole pattern, but so now I can just draw on. Is this view any better? I can just should be able to take that and transfer it to paper. Transfer it to the paper. I'm going to try and true this up a little bit too. Although I probably shouldn't. So it's only sticky on one side, so that makes it a little difficult to use. But wasn't too terrible. Hey, Steve, I was doing some end of the year stuff, and I figured out I rehomed 254 creations last year. So that means I made about 300 furry little friends last year. So now I have a target to beat for this year. That's fantastic. Believe me, I felt like I did good that I did like 20 puppets this last year. You're a machine. I'm going to call you TC the machine 5-ish. Like George the Animal Steel, I guess. Let me see if it still fits. Yeah, like a glove. Okay, great. Go that way. No. I was thinking about what I would want to build this next year because I do have I have this and one one commission that I'm finishing up for the puppets that I've been building for the last basically 8 months. I finished 5 of them, 5 of the 6. I'm finishing up the last one this week, and I can't do that on camera, and I can do this one on camera, and then I have 2 more by the middle of February. Then I'm done with all the commissions I have. I guess I have 1 dog I have to build, so I'll build a dog probably. But then I was thinking one of the projects I might want to do coming up is I've always wanted to build Mayberry in carbonite. So I might actually try and do that. Like make a melonpool puppet, maybe take an old melonpool puppet that no longer is serviceable and make it so that he's in carbonite. I think that would be a really fun project. Or I could just build them from scratch because I do have the patterns. And I was thinking one of the things I could do is instead of, usually when people buy a build like Han Solo in carbonite or their own character in carbonite, what they do is they make a box and they cut a hole in it the shape of the person that's in it, and then they just stick it up through the hole and then patch it, and then that's how they do it. But what I could do is I could actually build just the front sections of all the pieces and mount it to a board and then treat it like carbonite, basically. I think that would be a fun way to do it. I think I'm going to institute pricing this year too, where if people let me do it on camera, I'll knock $1,000 off the price tag. Either that, or if they don't let me, I'll add $1,000 to the price tag. Vacuum seal the whole puppet. Is the mouth plate painted on this one? No, it's just I think it's just blue fabric. In fact, it's the same fabric that I used on Ralphie's arms. I didn't have any ultra suede in that color, so. They don't actually need this till the end of February, but I was really afraid I was going to run out of time, especially since I'll be working. So, much to the surprise of anybody who's ever had me as a builder, I'm actually ahead of time on something. Okay, let's see. I could almost vacuum the whole puppet if I wanted to. That's actually a pretty good idea. I don't know if I would. I don't have a vacuumer that big. But of course, if I did, then I could make kits that I could sell to people. Because who wouldn't want a vacuum? Who wouldn't want a carbonite melon pool on their wall? But in the comic, that was a standard gag. Whenever they did any type of suspended animation, invariably one or all of them would end up in a big block of carbonite. I have enough old puppets that, the mouth plate shot on or whatever, that I could repurpose it as that rather than just having it become part of my hoard. It'd be kind of cool to have in the back of my, on the wall behind me here. I'm doing these live streams too. I guess that's a reason to get me commissions, to keep me from having to build that. Tell you what, now I remember one more reason I hate Olaf. It's this fabric is terrible. It just sheds like crazy. That and I hate Olaf. When you use Dura collars, do you put any super glue or thread locker on the set screws? I've only used Dura collars one time. Set screws is what I just used something BJ had around the shop, but set screws was the way we did it. I believe they came in the same package as the Dura collars, like the set screw, and that was all one piece, or one package. I think it even came with an Allen wrench that fit it to attach it. So I'll have to add a neck tube to this, and probably a little bit more neck material to it as well. But other than that, I think he's basically, his head's done, which is great. I mean, to finish a head in one day. Never. We aren't going to mention the 3 days that I spent building it to begin with, but honestly, this is the best use of this head. So I guess I have another Olaf in my future. You know, originally I was going to glue this all down to the back of here and make it all nice, but I ran out of time. So it's really lucky for me that I was had such a poor work ethic that I never finished up the back of this thing. See, it pays to be lazy. There's no easy way to lay this without ruining it. I'm just doing the ladder stitch all the way along this. It's so easy with this material to accidentally get a knot because this fluff just is trapped by the threads as I go. Luckily, none of the ones that I've created have been permanent. I've been able to undo them. You see how fast that caused a knot there? Oh my gosh. So let's see. I might have just spoken too soon. Oh my gosh. Yep. All right. Luckily, I had just tied a knot, so I shouldn't be out too much work. This is why a 1 hour job ends up taking like 3 hours because of getting these little knots and having to fix things. Come on. Come on. You can do it. It doesn't help that everything on this puppet is white and I'm blind. So let's see. Okay. One of these days I'll buy a candle so that I can actually wax this thread as I go, because it does help, but I do not own a candle. I just rub the thread on a flashlight. Oh, that's brilliant. I think I'm in the home stretch now. It is a trap. It's a trap. You guys have seen my Animal Akbar puppet, right? I know I posted pictures of it, but I don't think I ever brought him out. Sometimes I think there's a puppet slam piece to be had, use the Admiral Akbar and Zoidberg. I don't know what. Maybe I can make a Squidward. Have them all trying to share an apartment or something. Had 3 divorced crustaceans share an apartment without driving each other crazy. It's like the fish salad bar. I mean, the nice thing about everything being white is I can be rather sloppy with my stitches and nobody will ever see them. Okay, well, I sewed up the back of his head. Let's see if it still works. So there he is. Still works pretty well. Oh, he's a little stiff, though. I mean, it's the problem of it being, a puppet like this. He still works, though. Okay, so he needs a neck sleeve, which I think I can take the one off of Gonzo. Let's see. So this is, you guys haven't seen this. This is how I got his eyelids to work. Which, actually, pretty good. It's pretty good, So, anyway, so this is the prototype, so I can take this off to use to live another day. So what I'm doing is I'm pinning this jersey mesh in place. And then I'm going to run a whip stitch around it. And then I'll glue it in place. And I would try it out, but I would get pins in my hand. I think this is pink, but it doesn't really matter. Now, L200 is not as good at being able to sew into, but it's what I got. So it's mainly just to keep it in place until I glue it. Hopefully tomorrow when I come on, I can just knock out the body and then the arms on maybe Thursday. Then he'll be done. So here's hoping. Here's hoping I can knock him out in like 3-4 days. I'll get that other one done this week too. So if you're thinking about having me build you a puppet, now's the time to inquire about it. I know this is just a compelling video. I can just barely see it myself. All right, so that's all sewn in place. Okay, last step, I'm gonna peel all this back and pin it. And then I'm gonna glue it in place and then I'll be done tonight. So I think I made some pretty good headway on this thing tonight. Okay, here's my respirator.
We're basically coating this thing with barge. Okay.
So that's basically it for fixing this thing, or refurbing it. I'm gonna let that dry overnight or a couple hours at least, and then I'll pull out all the pins, and then I think I'm gonna have to make like a 4-inch section of this wool, whatever this is, this snow fabric, to make a neck that goes down about that far, and then the head section will be done, and then it's just making a body. I'll do that tomorrow. So, all right, guys, thanks for tuning in. I'm gonna probably be on again tomorrow at about 11:30. I'm gonna do my drawing again as I find my way back to doing comics, and I'll be back on tomorrow night about 5. So I'll see you later. Bye.